It's a lovely evening here. The sun shines down, the wind blows away from the town into the goal. And I'm sure Western Gaels will be expecting a big crowd and big support here tonight as they lead on to the championship, where they play Hospital Harbourstown in the next couple of weeks. Emmets play local side or West.
Will he come out, Tim? Will him out, so?
I did not.
Yes,
You know what? This is a show.
And here's Jack here himself. You see, look.
Jack had one very bad league.
Come on here, son. Go out.
Jack, you're only one league.
Yeah.
Only one. You only one. You should have known that. Your left leg was a stick on me, to only a stick. You remember him playing? I know. They weren't bad. They weren't there at all.
Paddy Dunn is here as well. He bet Paddy.
Dunn is the only one I know.
What do you mean the only one you know?
I know Dunn is a small one.
I said your master and your left leg.
There in yourself.
Sorry.
And they wouldn't go for a fine.
But you must be eating.
No, it wasn't. No, I know this fellow from the west of Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
They were Galway men. But they had 2 or 3 fellas that I knew. And I said to myself, if we could win it all on the field, we better that we weren't away too for it, because we were going to have Jake Flanagan, Ryan, an undertaker, and Haw from Charles from the line with them well. And what happened was Jack had got a load of his bus, and we came up with Tommy Castro, and Eddie Stack had a bus at the time. He had trouble. Well, our bus rode up to Kilmead, and what killed them was they couldn't get a decent point to port. All the fishermen were there looking for drinks and couldn't get a point to port.
Here we have the presentation of the sponsors check from Golden Vale to John O'Keefe of Granagh Ballingarry Gaa Club and other supporters and mentors and chairperson there. Before that, of course, we saw the presence of the Canon, and here he comes again. Most active for his years, members of the Glynn club there with Jack Culhan, I think the only surviving member of the actual team with the cannon himself. And it's great to see those days remembered by the present day members. There is Jack again. Here we have the cannon. He's about to receive his presentation. Jack Culhan making a presentation here now to the cannon. Morning.
He won't come in, Joe.
He won 6 county championships there, and himself and Jack Culhan are the only surviving members of that team. This is a momentous occasion here this evening in Ballingarry.
Jack Culhan. What do you know?
Jack.
Okay, just one more subject. Just stay here, please. You finish out.
On the Chapel Road, Lynn.
And Jack is the last member of he's the last survivor of the team that fought the Lions.
He's not the last survivor.
The last two, sorry. He's the last one living in Glynn.
And then there's John Anthony Culhan, he's the chairman.
You're the last two of the team.
John Anthony.
As they did your cousin used to say, you bet the world today.
And this gentleman here.
Pat
That's Pat Anthony.
O'Shaughnessy.
You bet the world today, Jack.
Second and then we go again.
Come on, Nora.
Davey,
Well, you're
this way, Linda. Just that way. And this Jim, come to me. That's it. Is this man in it also? Yeah, show me just a little bit. All right. Stay there, lads. What's that? You can shake the Deacon's hand. Are you ready? This man isn't happy, is he?
Jimmy!
Jimmy Step. I just get the 4. You're all in it, but I'll just get 4 part in it. You don't mind. I'll throw around to you. This man is 4. You're presenting to... This gentleman here.
Fine fresh evening. Fine fresh evening.
Please. Fine fresh evening. He's getting us hostility. Camera, Haley. Camera, Haley.
Don't face it, the big guy. The sun is blinding me.
Huh? This is our notice. Yeah. Right. So I get a copy of that notice.
We have the mayor of Arde here, don't forget. He's not here in the office with him tonight.
We're looking well there, Penny.
Thank you.
Keep it going up, keep concentration on the game because the fish will be going in a minute. We'll score down there waiting for the parade. Come on.
The teams for this evening game were Western Gaels, first of all, in goals, Pat Horgan. Full back line, Jerry O'Donovan, Mike Lane and John Danaher. Half back line of Kieran Maloney, Paddy Flynn and Conor O'Connor. Centre field, Tony Dial and Gerard Galvin. Half forward line, Michael Downs, Jerry McMahon and Seamus Stapleton. The full forward line, Aidan Mulqueen, Paul O'Connor and David Wolfe. The Emmets team for tonight, in goal, Dave Wallace. Full back line of Chris Wall, Michael O'Brien and Aidan Fitzgerald. Half back line of Michael O'Brien, John O'Neill and Tyg Tobin. Centre field, John Fitzgerald and Wallace Wallace. Half forward line of Paulie Davin, Frankie Carroll and Michael Mead. Full forward line, Dan Murphy, Pat McGrath and Gerard Murnan. All these boys are playing for their places in these respective divisional teams. As we say, it will be playing in a few weeks in the county championship. Western Gaels with a big complement of substitutes there. One of the elder statesmen there would be John McGrath, I'm sure. Lovely band here this evening from Ballingarry. It's most delightful to see it on this nostalgic occasion to have such a wonderful piece of music played live. The Mayor of Arda there again, Paul O'Connor. his fellow clubman David Wolf.
Yeah, let me do the field. I'll make sure that they realise that they'll be running in a second. No, between the two.
The ball won't be very much longer in the middle of the field.
Had the ball. With the ball.
Play away without the ball. What ball do you want?
We don't need no ball.
Let it play away.
I just want to get put the ball in his hand. Come on, Jeff. Ball from all directions.
Behind you, there's a ball behind you.
No, you haven't. Okay, lads. Yeah, no. You could move in a little bit closer. Yeah, just stay there now. Wait. Hold on now. Wait a second. Don't do it until I tell you. Wait a minute. Don't do it. Wait a minute. Hold the ball out. Don't hold on. No, hold on. Wait. Hold it. Yeah, like that. That'll do. Don't. That's it.
Keep the rain ball, right? Are you finished?
Go on, throw it now. Throw it. Go on. Throw it in.
The ball's in, the game is on. First to break away are Emmets. But Tony Doyle flicks the ball on there. And a free to Western Gaels. Gerard Galvin of Phoenix to take it. The wind and sun at their back. Lifts and strikes, but it goes to the right and wide. Dave Wallace to puck the ball out. Out into the centre of the field. Collected there by Martin Wallace. Into the full forward, Pat McGrath. Collected inside, passed out to number 12, Paddy Davern. Mike Mead, sorry. And a pint there for Emmets from Mike Mead. Pat Horgan in goals for Western Gaels. With the wind behind him. Dropping down. Collected by Mike Mead again. Back to Derry McMahon. Paul O'Connor. Paul flicks it, but he's blocked down. Double done by Derry McMahon across to David Wolf. Michael O'Brien coming out here. Hooshed out over the line with an Emmets ball. Corner back, Jerry Donovan coming out to take it. Up along the centre here, Gerard Galvin. Gerard overruns it, flicks it on. Seamus Stapleton. Flicked on by Derry McMahon. Picked up by David Wolfe, and David has been pushed in the back. A free into Western Gaels. David going to take it himself. Lifts and strikes straight between the posts. And a point for Western Gaels. Tashi they're co-scoring out. Dave Wallace. Locked down by Gerard Galvin. Flicked down by Gerard. And again up along here to David Wolfe. Collected and brought out though by Aidan Fitzgerald. Derry McMahon. Cross to number 13. Aidan Mulqueen. And Aidan scores a lovely point. A lovely point from Aidan Mulqueen. Dave Wallace again. Blocked down by Paddy Flynn. Paddy Flynn again. Mike Mead picks it up though. Number 10, Michael Downs. Western Gaels men passing themselves out. Derry McMahon. Back into the centre though. Frankie Carroll collects it. Frankie's going the solo on. He's still gone. Sends it straight across. To Mike Mead, and a second point for Mike Mead. Gerard Galvin puts up his hand and collects it. Off he goes in a solo run. Flicks it across into the centre. Derry McMahon. Derry has it way near the end line. Into the centre. Paul O'Connor corrected by the full back though, and cleared out by the cornerback out over the line. Michael Downs to take this. A high ball from Michael, right into the goalie's hand. Dave Wallace drives it back out again to Michael. He'll have a second shot at this. Not as good one this time, into the centre. Tony Doyle. Frankie Carroll collects it. Drives it up along the wing here. Paddy Dowan along the ground. Mike Lane is coming out with it. Or should I say Jerry O'Donovan. Cleared out by Kieran Maloney up the field, flicked on by Paul O'Connor, with only as far as the cornerback. Chris Farrell. Well cleared out there. Paddy Flynn collects it. Up along the wing. Tony Doyle. Tony Doyle has been held. Western Gaels playing with the yield of a strong breeze. 2 points each. Gerard Galvin to take this. Lifts and strikes right into the square. Right into the cornerback. Aidan Fitzgerald. Out to Mike Mead. Blocked down by Kieran Maloney. Pushed by Kieran Maloney. Frankie Carroll is going across to take it. Lifts and strikes. It's gone to the left and wide.
Nice crowd here.
Yeah, big crowd here this evening for the final of this tournament. David O'Keefe of Ballingarry is a referee for the evening. John Danaher collecting, overruns it though. Out to Frankie Carroll again. Frankie is twisting and turning. Blocked down by Paddy Flynn. Paddy is coming out the field to Gerard Galvin. Gerard sends it up into the wing. Paul O'Connor coming out to collect it. Lets it run on to Aidan Mulqueen. Deflected out over the line for a line ball to Emmets. Tyke Tobin along the ground to Frankie Carroll. Frankie half blocked down by Paddy Flynn. Mike Mead along the ground. Kieran Maloney doubles on it and up into the centre. Seamus Stapleton. Seamus is still flicking and tapping. John Danaher. John collects it. Out towards Derry McMahon. David Wolfe into the centre. Paul O'Connor is coming out. Well cleared out there by Tyke Tobin. John Danaher again. Frankie Carroll. Knocked down by Paddy Flynn. Frankie Carroll has it again. Into Paddy Davern. Paddy gets a lovely point there, a lovely pass from Frankie Carroll. The sun shining down here in Ballingarry this evening. Pat Horgan again. Gerald Galvin flicks it on. Seamus Stapleton collects. Into the square. Collected and cleared out by Jerry O'Donovan. Tony Dial. But only as far as number 16. John O'Neill. John is still going along the ground by John. Paddy Flynn doubles in it. Kieran Maloney. Derry McMahon lets it run through. Locked down by Gerard Galvin. Frankie Carroll has gone back. Paddy Flynn. Paddy overruns it. But Frankie has it again. Frankie tries to bait 2 men, but he doesn't quite succeed yet. Mike O'Brien. John Danaher clears it out along the centre. Tony Dial. Along the ground by Tony. Derry McMahon. A great point from Derry McMahon there from the centre forward position. Pat Horgan to puck it out again into the centre of the field here. Gerard Galvin locked down. Gerard is a judge to be pushing. Frankie Carroll is coming for another shot at goal. .65 yards out. It's gone to the left and wide. It's flicked back in by the cornerback. Double done by Michael O'Brien. Out to the full forward. Pat McGrath. Back in again. Hands go up. John Danaher is coming out along. Flicks it on as far as Paddy Flynn. David Wolfe, Paul O'Connor, and John O'Neill goes back. Paul has it again. Cross into the centre. Out to David Wolfe. And David sends it to the left and wide. Pat Horgan again. A good shot. Kieran Maloney. David Wolfe flicking it on. Paul O'Connor. David Wolfe again. Lots of twisting and turning. Paul O'Connor has it again. Still twisting and turning. Frankie Carroll collects. Drills it along the centre. Out comes Pat McGrath, collects the ball. Then loses it and flicks it on. Back to Frankie Carroll again. Emmets men coming in each other's way. Picked up by Kieran Maloney though. And cleared out the field by Kieran Maloney. Farrell's Aidan Mulqueen. Back down again. Kieran Maloney again. No Hurley this time. On to Tony Doyle. A great point from Tony Doyle. Stylish Newcastle West marksman. Out again by Dave Wallace. Very close to the sideline. Pushing. Dave Keefe says that's pushing. Gerard Galvin to take this. David Wolfe in, collects. Across the centre, lovely ball. Tyke Tobin there drives it out over the sideline. Michael Downs, another chance at the sideline. Along the ground. Tyke Tobin with Aidan Mulqueen across the square. No one here though. Brought out by Michael O'Brien. Michael is still coming. Clears it up into the centre. John Danaher. John O'Neill. Through Tony Doyle again. Tony looking at it. A haircut there. Frankie Carroll is going centre field. Morris Wallace is going centre forward. Western Gaels 4 points, Emmets 3. Gerard Galvin has a chance to put him further ahead. Right between the posts. Just Dave Wallace again out into the centre of the field. Hurleys go up, hands go up. But Tony Doyle collects it and doubles on it. Into Aidan Mulqueen. Collected inside though by Chris Farrell and cleared out into the centre. Derry McMahon puts up his hand and collects it. It's very much one-way traffic at the moment. Western Gaels are well in command. And Gerard Galvin has another chance to put him further ahead. And he succeeds. Another point for Gerard Galvin. Dave Wallace pucks it out fast, but he pucks it too far, and it's gone over the sideline for a line ball to Western Gaels. Gerard Galvin is calling someone to the front. Along the ground, to Seamus Stapleton. Seamus turns and strikes a high ball landing inside in the square. Paul O'Connor has a chance of a goal here, but yes, a penalty. He definitely had a chance of a goal before he was bottled up. It'll be interesting to see who's going to take this penalty. Tony Doyle looks to be the man entrusted with it. Lifts, strikes and between the posts, a point. Dave Wallace to Frankie Carroll. And Tony Doyle. But it goes back to Kieran Maloney. John O'Neill got one right haymaker there. Totally accidental indeed, but he got it right into the face. And just came in as the Hurley swung up into the flat of the Hurley. Big crowd of mentors and doctors around him at this time. The crowd on the far side. John O'Neill has gone off with the Emmets team. Pat McGrath goes back centre back. Conor O'Connor collecting and driving back out here to Seamus Stapleton, but he drives it too far to the left. A line ball to Emmets. Michael O'Brien along the centre. Tony Doyle. Frankie Carroll into the centre again. A great goal there by Gerard Murnan. Into the back of the net. A low ball from Frankie Carroll. Pat Horgan from Tournafulla to puck it out again. Tony Doyle collects it in the centre of the field. Flicks it on up into the corner to Aidan Mulqueen. And Chris Farrell. A line ball to Emmets. Chris Farrell to take it. Pat McGrath's gone centre back. A great ball from Chris Farrell of Ballaghagrana, I think. Paddy Flynn is pushing from behind. 1-3 for Emmett, 7 points for Western Gaels. Frankie lifts and strikes into the corner. Collected inside by Gerard Murnan. Into number 8, John Fitz. John is still trying to go through a maze of hurleys, trying to prevent him. So Frankie Carroll will get a chance to level the scores. And he succeeds. 1-7. 7 points each. Pat Horgan to puck it out again. Flicked back by Mike O'Brien. Double done by Conor Connor across the centre. Aidan Mulqueen having a look, but blocked down by Pat McGrath. Into the centre again. Flicked out by the goalkeeper. He's still going out. Double done by the goalkeeper to Pat McGrath. Pat sends it across the field here to Michael O'Brien. Gerard Galvin is really motoring and collecting and going in. Going right through. And a mighty goal, but a chance of a mighty goal, but it's gone to the right and wide. Gerard from Freena travelling at sprinting pace there. Definitely deserved a goal. Dave Wallace to puck it out again. Only as far as Seamus Stapleton though, but it goes behind him. Gerard Galvin again. Gerard has been pushed, David O'Keefe says. Straight between the posts, a lovely point there for Gerard Galvin. Third point from his third free. Dave Wallace again. Frankie Carroll has a chance to put Emmets back at the same score over the bar. I'm sure he'll try it. He sure does. Straight between them. 8 points each. Emmets playing with 14 men. Mighty puck out from Pat Horgan. Double done by Derry McMahon. Double done again by Frankie Carroll, but only as far as George Galvin. George comes out, collects the ball, but he's been fouled from behind. Number 17, Paddy Davern, judged to be fouling there. And he sends this one to the left and wide. Dave Wallace again. Ducked by John Pitts. John is going right through. He's gone quite a few steps to the ball though. A few too many, Davy Keefe says. So Paddy Flint is getting a chance to drive it back up again. Flicks it on to Tony Doyle. A little bit ahead of him though. Pat McGrath comes out and misses it. Tony Doyle tries to pick it up. Succeeds. And flicks to the left and wide. Dave Wallace again, out into the centre of the field. Tony Doyle. Back as far as Pat McGrath. Flicked on here to Frankie Carroll.
Go, Frankie.
And JP Ryan says that is a great score, and it definitely is a lovely point there from Frankie Carroll. Lovely stylist. Pat Horgan again. Pucks it out. Frankie's waiting for the break, collects it from the air. Up towards Kieran Maloney. Kieran dubs it along the ground. Back to Frankie Carroll again though. Dispossessed this time by Seamus Stapleton. Paddy Flynn. John Danner has gone back. Flicking it onto the corner. In close intention is Dan Murphy. And eventually it goes out for a 65 for Emmets. Yes. Our view of that corner of the field is somewhat restricted. And Frankie Carroll will get a chance to put Emmets in front. Landing into the square, hurleys go up, hands go up and collected by John Danaher. John is coming out and clears out along the wing here to Tony Dial. Great ball from Tony, right up into the square. Picked up though by Aidan Fitzgerald out into the centre of the field. Paddy Daverton. Aidan Mulqueen, but someone is judged to be fouling there. A switch there in the Western Gaels team. Aidan Mulqueen is out a half forward. Number 10, Michael Downs, is going to the corner. Pat McGrath to take this. A high ball from Pat, landing right into the square. Collected inside there by Conor O'Connor. Out here to Seamus Stapleton. Seamus snaps the ball, doubles in it. Back to Derry McMahon, but Pat McGrath comes out and collects it and kicks it out over the line. And Gerard Galvin to take this. Great ball from Gerard right up along the wing, but it's gone too far and it's gone to the left and wide. Okay. 30 minutes, almost exactly up. 1-5 to 8 points. Dave Wallace pucks it out on the stroke of 30 minutes. The second half. Cannon is still with us at the far side of the field. A wonderful achievement, no doubt, for a man of his years. Emmets have a new man on. Ray Sampson is coming on in full forward. Johnny Mulner there and Moss Brother, Liam Linehan. The ball's in, the game is on. Frankie Carroll picks and drives up into the centre. Kicked out to Paddy Flynn. Doubled in there by Gerard Murnan. Mike Lane lifts and strikes. Tony Doyle puts up his hand and collects. Flicks it onto Gerard Galvin. Along the ground by Gerard. Back to Tyke Tobin. Mike Lane again, bringing it out. Into the centre. Frankie Carroll collects it. Out to the corner. Knocked down by Conor Connaught. Seamus Stapleton. Flicked out there. Pulled in by Tony Doyle. Switches on the Western Gaels team. Gerard Galvin to take this free. Gerard sends it to the left and wide.
Quick one, quick one!
Dave Wallace to puck it out. Out to Tony Doyle. Tony is very casual about it though. And Frankie Carroll gets a chance to put Emmets in ahead. Just slightly to the left and wide. 1-5 to 8 points again. Pat Horgan. A great puck against the wind by Pat. Gerard Galvin collects it, but loses it. John Danaher. That is Michael O'Brien. Ray Sampson almost choked inside there. Across the centre. Conor O'Connor clears it out. Gerard Galvin collects it out of the air and flicks it on in front of him. Into the centre again. Collected by Paul O'Connor. Paul is judged to be fouled and a free into Western Gaels. The new Lord Mayor of Arda. On last Sunday night, and I suppose this is a new role for him playing in the forward line. Gerard Galvin lifting and striking and driving it between the posts to put Western Gaels ahead. Dave Wallace to puck it out again. Gerard Galvin. But here he goes to number 9, Mollis Wallace. Flicked out by Mike Lane. John Danaher collects it. Out to Conor O'Connor. But it goes a bit too far. A line ball to Emmets. Number 17, Paddy Davern to take it. Along the ground. Fitzy drives it into the air. And John Danaher collects it again. And again. Across the centre though. Picked up by Chris Farrell there. Or Johnny O'Donovan, I should say. Back in by Mike Lane, clears it out the centre. Moss is blocked down. Moss Hurley. Moss loses the ball to Michael Mead, but Michael has sent it to the left and wide. Moss Hurley's centre forward, I think. Now Paul O'Connor is centre forward. Many changes in this team. He's a half forward. Pat Horgan, Tony Doyle and Frankie Carroll blocks it down. Back to Mike Lane. Twists and turns. Mike loses it. Kieran Maloney. Kieran is hooked. Kieran is collects. Across the centre by Kieran. Back to Frankie Carroll and Gerard Galvin. Into Mike Lane again. Mike out into the centre of the field. Tony Doyle. Moss Hurley. Along the ground by Moss. Jerry Mulno making changes in the Western Gaels team. Kieran Maloney goes centre back and Paddy Flynn comes to the wing. David Wolfe comes to take a free. Lifts and strikes, but send it to the left and wide. Emmets won 5, Western Gaels 9 points. Dave Wallace again to take the puck out. Knocked down by Paddy Flynn and Kieran Maloney. Picked up by Mike Meader. Back again to Paddy Flynn. Paddy sends it to the right and out over the sideline for the line ball to Emmett. Chris Farrell to take this. Frankie will have to take it this time. Moss has been sent into the corner. A high ball from Frankie into the centre, blocked out by Gerard Galvin to Pat McGrath. Pat has gone right through, hooked, blocked. John Danaher collects. Pat Galvin has it again, and a mighty goal from Pat McGrath. Yes, Pat McGrath from the half-back line. Michael O'Brien. Frankie Carroll and Gerard Galvin. Frankie still going through, but he loses it. Conor O'Connor picks it up. Back into the centre. Derry McMahon. Tyke Tobin has been pulled to put it over the bar. Tyke Tobin right into the square. But it's gone to the left and wide from number 13, Danny Murphy. Back out again by Pat Horgan. Gerald Galvin collects, drives it up along the corner here. Morris Hurley trying to collect, and he succeeds. And that's a mighty point from Morris Hurley. 2-5 to 10 points. One of the young stars from Newcastle West. A mighty puck out here to Frankie Carroll, but Frankie loses it. Picked up by Tony Doyle. Frankie gives a little flick. Tony Doyle from Newcastle West to take this free. A high ball into the square. Collected by Dave Wallace, then lost by Dave Wallace. Back in again by David Wolfe. Brought out though by number 7, Tyg Tobin. David Wolfe comes out, collects it again with Frankie Carroll. Up the field, this one is going in favour of Emmets.
Come on, lads, out the field, come on!
Michael O'Brien. To Morris Wallace. Into the net, all the way to the net by Morris Wallace.
Stop here! Come on, lads! Come on! Come on! Give it up!
Pat Monahan, JP Ryan.
Hang up though, Pat.
Pat Horgan. Frankie. Mike Dooley's introduced. Back to John Danner. Paddy lets it off. Ray Sampson and Mike Lane. Mike brings it out. Still coming out. Kicks it. Seamus Stapleton and Frankie Carroll. Paddy Davern. Right into the square. Cleared out though by Pat Horgan. Conor O'Connor, number 8, John Fitzgerald. John Danner collects it. Clears it out the field. Seamus Stapleton. Into Jerry McMahon. Mike O'Brien clears it out the field. Blocked down though. Tyg Tobin has it again. Well cleared out there by Tyg into the centre. Paddy Flynn locks it down. Back to John Danner. Turns and strikes. Tyg Tobin has it again. Tries the same corner. John Danner clears it out again. Back to Seamus Stapleton, twisting and turning. Tony Doyle, a high ball from Tony. Flicked out there though by number 4, Aidan Fitzgerald. Now possession very much restricted to Tony Doyle. Tony loses the ball, but he collects it again. He's going through. A lovely point there from Tony Doyle. Emmets 3-5. Western Gaels 11 points. Dave Wallace pucks it out into the centre of the field. Kieran Maloney to Morris Wallace. Morris is blocked down, but he gets a second shot at it. Hands go up and hurlers go up. In towards Ray Sampson. Across to Conor O'Connor. Twisting and turning. Out to Frankie Carroll. Frankie right into the square. Mike Lane collects. Mike having a fine game. Mike Dooley doubling on the ball. David Wolfe. In towards Paul O'Connor. Collected by the full-back down side, Mike O'Brien. Con O'Connor. Up along the wing by Con. Seamus Stapleton puts up his hand. Out to the centre, but it's flicked down and blocked down. Frankie Carroll. Frankie having a look around. Along the ground. Con O'Connor having a fine game there. Kicking it on to Mike Doody. Up along the wing, Seamus Stapleton. A high ball from Seamus into the centre. Morris Hurling. And Derry McMahon has it. A lovely point there from Derry McMahon. £12 to 3-5. 14 points to 12 in favour of Emmets. Dave Wallace out into the centre of the field again. Kieran Maloney collects it. Loses it. Doubled on there by John Fitz. Mike Lane comes out and collects the ball all on his own. Paul O'Connor is going up, but he doesn't collect it, but number 7 Tyg Tobin does. John Dannert doubles on it again down the field. Gone out over the sideline there. Aidan Fitzgerald. Mike Doody is going to take this. Good ball from Mike into the centre. Hands go up, Tyg Tobin. Doesn't quite hold it, David Wolfe does. And David flicks it between the posts for a nice point for Western Gaels. David Wolfe for Abda. Through 5 to 13 points, 14 points to 13 in favour of Emmets. Dave Wallace again. Paddy Flynn trying to look into the sun. Succeeds, collects it, loses it. Into number 9, Morris Wallace. Morris is carrying across in front of him. John Dannert clears it out though, well cleared out by John. Paul O'Connor. Tony across to Mike Doody. Mike is locked down though. Paul O'Connor is chopped down by number 17, Paddy Davern. Gerald Galvin gets a chance to put the teams in even scoring. A lovely point there from Gerald Galvin. They are on course score to reach. Paul O'Connor being taken off. Mike Doody and Frankie Carroll. Back to Con O'Connor. Frankie gets it, Frankie loses it. Carries up the field by John Fitz. John is twisting and turning. Flicks it on there to Gerard Galvin. To Paddy Davern. But Paddy sends it to the left and wide. 3-5 to 14 points. They're 14 points each. About 12 minutes, that's 10 anyway. Frankie Carroll in the centre of the field, all on his own. Picked up by number 2, Joey O'Donovan. John Dannert is bringing it out long. John is collecting. High ball from John. Picked up by Tyg Tobin. Joey O'Donovan goes back, collects. Clears it out into the centre. Gerard Galvin collects it. Double done by Gerard. Moss Hurley collects it and loses it. Frank sends it back to Gerard Galvin. Great excitement here in the square. Brought out by Tig Tobin again. Great clearance by Tig. Kieran Maloney. Morris Hurling. Kieran blocks him down. Paddy, don't let him in, that says. Well, that's a great point there from Danny Murphy to put Emmets in front again. McMahon. Derry collects it. Derry has been held. So they get a chance to go on and even score again. Gerard Galvin straight in front of the goals. Lifts and strikes it between the posts and drives it all the way to Ballingarry. Up into the square. Yes, and the seating and for the press on the far side of the field. They're looking for a sliotar.
We give more to you. That's the third one of ours that's gone.
Yes, as usual, Dave Wallace, Kieran Maloney, Mike Doody. Into the centre, Derry McMahon flicks it down though. Belonging to number 4, Aidan Fitzgerald. Out to the centre again. Tig Tobin. Kieran Maloney. Paddy Flynn. Mike Doody along the ground by Mike. Great ball. Seamus Stapleton. Tig Tobin again. Tig having a mighty game at wing back. John Danaher blocks it down. On his fellows John Fitz, and John is going right through. He's still going through. And John sends it to the right and wide. Morris Wallace and Frankie Carroll been changed. Pat Horgan again. Turn the fellow custodian. Gerard Galvin puts up his hand. Goes to Paddy Flynn. Paddy is off on a solo run. And then he flicks right into the corner, but it goes to the left and wide. $3-7 to 15 points. John Galvin collects it. Gerard Galvin sends it back in again. Moss Hurley. The sun beaming down in Ballingarry this evening. Gerard Galvin is going up to take it. Across to Tony Doyle. And flicked out by Dave Wallace for a 65. A few minutes left in this game. Yes, I thought the scorekeeper had got it wrong. It's 3-6 to 15 points. It's a draw. About 4 minutes left. Gerard lifts and strikes. Straight between the posts to put Western Gaels in front by a point. A mighty puck out there by Dave Wallace. Mike Doody and Kieran Maloney. In on the corner here. Blocked down. Jerry Donovan clears it out. Up along to Moss Hurley. I'd say Moss is falling. Number 2, Jerry O'Donovan. Chris Farrell there, number 2 for Emmets. Gerald Galvin goes up for it. Back to Paddy Davern. Out to Morris Wallace, and a very serious wide there. Great excitement as the Western Gaels lead by a point. Pat Horgan again. Out into the centre of the field. Mike Doody pulls, but Morris Wallace collects. And number 15 into John Danaher though. And John clears it out the field to Tony Doyle. Tony collects it, and off he goes in a solo run. Loses it, collects it again, loses it again. He has it a third time and doubles it back in. The legs are getting weary in there. Watch it coming out, this is from Chris Farrell. Out into the centre, Kieran Maloney comes out for it. Picked up by Frankie Carroll. Well played by Kieran Maloney there. Frankie has it again though. Across the centre. Conor O'Connor. Into number 17. He's going this way, that way and everywhere. Out to number 14. Into the centre, collected again by John Danaher. But he loses it. Double back in there by number 8, John Fitzgerald. A fantastic point there. The level scores again. This game could definitely end even. Frankie Carroll goes up. They're looking for another score. Along the ground by Frankie. Mike Lane is coming out. Mike is kicking it out in front of him. Mike is still going. Mike is all on his own. Up along the wing here. Hurleys go up. Picked up by Tony Doyle. Tony is blocked down, but he's still going. Tyke Tobin has gone back there. Tyke collects it. Up the field again by Tyke. Frankie Carroll tries to handle it, but Kieran Maloney puts him out of it. And Frankie is adjudged to be fouling. Definitely the winning point from Gerald Galvin. They're very close to it anyway. A mighty point there. 3-7 to 17 points. 16 to 17 in favour of Gales. And he blows it. Western Gaels win by a point. It could have been anyone's game.
I got some good points. Hi, Kenny.
Then of still meaty.
Yes, right, yeah. One of them.
Okay, just look this way, so Jim.
One of them.
There you
Oh, do you?
John Danaher. Huh? John Danaher. John Danaher.
go. I'm John Danaher.
Right.
How do you do that?
Who's presenting this?
How do you do?
How do you do present?
Listen, I have no inscription.
Look at me, look at me.
We had a good game, and
They had a good game.
we had a very good game. The best team won. But there was a little between them.
Paddy Dunlop.
Ladies and gentlemen, not very used to these speeches. I wasn't really ready for this tonight. First of all, I want to thank the lads for making me captain this year. I want to thank my club. I want to thank the selectors, lads. Just about our team, lads. We have a nice team, Western Gaels, right? We have good players in West Limerick. There's a big panel there. I think the show tonight, lads, was a bit of determination on the field. It's probably what we lacked on the day the last few years. If we can pull that through to the championship, lads, it's equal about training and the whole lot of it. If you can put up the spirit on the day, that's all we want, right? And we'll get the ball rolling. Just again, thank Ballingarry for the tournament and thank him for inviting us. And thank Emmets for a good sporting game. And congratulate Canon Lions on reaching 100 years here. I hope I live that long myself now. I want to thank Emmets for a good sporting game and give 3 cheers. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
Thanks, Paddy.
So we're getting all our camera up on top of the wall. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I know.
Ik met en zo. Ik begin te goed ook game. Van mooi.
Waar heb je stelen?
And thanks very much.
Oh, my player. TV, we showing the pub some night now and every day, hold you.
Mike Mulcahy is in a standing road at the
I want to tell how you are.
The Granagh Ballingarry Gaa Club, a wonderful evening for you.
It was a great success, and of course what really added to the occasion was the fact that our 100-year-old Canon Lions turned up and did the honours for us and looked fit and well, which was great to see, and throwing the ball, and it was a great occasion really, and it added that little scene or ceremony added to the whole overall thing. As to the match itself, it was an excellent match, played on a great evening, of course, and the ground was, as you can see, was in good old order there. So, Western Gaels, do you want me to comment on the match? Or, well, you saw it as well as I did, and they were up against it there for a while. Thought the last 20 minutes, but they recovered and did very well. Got some smashing points after conceding some probably softish goals, and showed good character. And I'd say if they made up their minds to have a go, they'd be a real force in the championship, I would think anyway.
Best of luck to them. We hope they do well in it.
Best of luck.
We're here.
Yeah.
John. A different game.
Shane was playing.
That's right, yeah. So my game really is handball. There's no doubt about it. But I'd like to see the boys here winning too.
It was a nice game this evening.
Oh yeah,
great
game this evening. Especially the last quarter now, it was fabulous. Was the county Hurling board, we went to look out in one young fella there, a young Lane from Newcastle West. I thought he had a great game altogether.
That's nice to see.
Great speed.
The divisional
team coming. Exactly.
Like him a chance.
Yeah, I might bring back Hurling to what it should be, and the man Limerick when that divisional was there before. At least we brought all on the titles. Limerick was they're fair scarce now.
Yeah,
fair scarce.
21 to get one out of it. There's another John here.
Golly.
What do you think of the game this evening?
Oh, it was a very good game, and my man would be young Maloney there from Knockadera, Aidan Maloney. He's a Kieran.
Kieran Maloney, yeah.
He's a very good hurler.
Yeah, he's a young.
So he got a bit of coaching, he's fat. And Danaher, which is he played very good for him.
I suppose Emmets might be shot a few this evening, probably.
Oh, they were, but
that's no excuse. That's still
it's still in the team. Not very good match anyway. I was delighted with it. Everything went very well.
It was great to see the cannon there after all
these years. He's a great man.
Another John again.
Yeah, the place is full of Johns, isn't it? Huh?
I was all comment in the game this evening.
Well, I thought it was a very good game. Like a lot of these tournament games, they don't be great. Like they wouldn't show great, but I think both teams showed great commitment there. And I suppose it was a pity they had to be loser.
Yeah, it could have been a draw, I suppose.
I'd be looking at the financial side of it. But I think the referee and the umpires and the linesmen, they've done a very good job of it now. And I think there was an example, and there was a few great scores there. Last score, Gerald Galvin got a very good score, and I think he's holding very well this year. And it was great to see the local team win it. So
very good.
I'd just like to thank the lads for having the field in such good order. I think to Fosby's and all the rest of the lads, Mike Neal and Pat Cagney, the player, was looking spotless, and it was great. And 10 years ago they wouldn't even the field here, like, so I think this is a very, I think anyone from around, very proud moment for everyone around here, I think, to see it. And I'd like to thank the band as well. You know, they added a bit of character to the place.
Very good, thanks very much. Great Gaels, Paddy Brown at Ballingarry. Paddy, how are you enjoying your retirement?
We got great, but I missed the course, and I missed the meetings, and I missed the crowds, and I ain't got the matches still all the same, you know. I'm enjoying all the matches now. I can relax. Before that I was tinched up because you would often think the referee might turn up for the game or something, and you'd be tinched up at the gate, like. But everything went. I was in the 32 years altogether between Board and Og and the senior board, and I was secretary senior board for 13 years. After John Whalen retirement, I took over, and we did very successful 13 years. Actually, John took it over. I think it was the board was in great financial position that time. But when I left it, with the great men I had, like Tom Cron here on my left, one of the great men at the gates, no one will get in with soft past Tom, and it's only right because you want every bob now to keep the boat floating, as you know yourself, you have to finance to keep everything on the road. So I enjoyed the stay at the GAA, and I still enjoy the matches now going through them, and I'll be always a GAA man, as I like to. That's why, in my young days, I hurled with seeing Western Gaels myself, and with 2 junior county titles, and missed the county senior one day, Captain Morbetus, by a point, which we got a out goal the first few minutes of the game, and that finished us. But after that, I retired. I didn't play any more senior games after that. All the years was keeping up, of course, and I wasn't as lively as I used to be. But I enjoyed my stay with the GAA, I think. But I wrote there a couple of years ago, that the GAA was declining in West Limerick, and I think something has to happen. There must be a boost up shortly, because we haven't the stuff we used to have in West Limerick, like, and it's a pity because. If we notice by our balance sheets at the end of the year, there every year now for the last couple of years, the football is beating the hurling. That's right, Tom. The receipts from that proves like that. There's something wrong with our hurling because it never happened before. But fair play to the junior footballers, they're giving you great money back now, Tom, haven't they? In all days, like great returns. And I'm looking at the games now instead of being at the gates now. I'm looking and enjoying my retirement, and I wish the board, Western Limerick board, I know it is a great board, one of the best boards in the division, and I wish them all the best of luck in the years ahead.
Paddy have made a great, tremendous achievement. The pitch and grounds tonight and everything was in.
Oh, they have a great club here. They have a great club here, but still they're looking for more finance. They're a bit in the red yet with the banks, you know, and it is a bad time to be in the red now because I suppose interest is very high there all this year, and a good trying to be in the red, but at the same time they have a wonderful facility here between the handballers and all of them, which can get to the handballers too. They won 4 All-Irelands I think there this year, under 14, under 12 there this year, the last week there, and a great credit due to them. But the handball, of course, the team cost a lot of money as well, you know. But eventually they'll get down. They have a wonderful field now, and they'll be well looked after. And there's a great club here.
Very good. Tom, a lovely match this evening.
A great game, a great finish. I was delighted with it. I see 3 under-21 players up there, and we must have a great county under-21 team, because 2 of them I can mention, Tony Doyle from Newcastle West and young Tobin from the south, and there was a third one. And the 3 of those are and they had fantastic games. And we must really have a great county under-21, and if we have a better under-21 players than those boys, then we're in the future we'll have a great senior team, which we very badly need.
Well, we'll find out that, I suppose, the 30th of July now, I think, is put back there.
That's right. That's right. That's put back now for a fortnight. And, of course, on account of Cochrane. He'll be playing the football as well. We had a great evening here. I'm delighted with the turnout Ballingarry gave us here. They have a beautiful field, of course. It was very well turned out. They had people on the scoreboard. And they have done a great job in general. And Davy Keefe, fair play to him, he refereed it well. It's not easy to referee a match of that standard. That was a fast game and a good game. Both teams, of course, were very clean, and I'm delighted the Western Gaels won. It's a boost for Western Gaels facing the championship.
Very good.
One thing I'd like to say about it this season was it was great to see Cannon Lyons after all his years. His 100 birthday gone, coming on to 101. To be above there this evening, that's an unbelievable thing. And I'm delighted and we're thankful that to be there. He's an outstanding man and was always a great GM and down his years.
Okay, thanks very much, boys. It's a very positive note to leave it on. Well, I called the Gael. I think that about sums up our evening in Ballingarry. Western Gaels have won the cup by a pint over Emmets. Man of the match tonight is John Danaher of Newcastle West. A most enjoyable evening indeed was had by all here in Ballingarry. And from cameraman George Daly and commentator Pat Hayes, we bid you all slán.